And the breathing. Him just standing there out of breath after doing all of that. It reminds me of Carmen Elaine. I think I watched a Twitch stream that she did. She was playing a game, I think, and had drank a little bit. And she's like, Alexa, play 1 hour loop of GOJO breathing.
Read a book. Your stupid is showing.
Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful anime fans. Shelby here. And today we are in another Anime Simp Hour with GOJO. So, okay, you might be wondering, you said you were going to do an aesthetic of the character when you do this video. I know I'm not giving GOJO right now. And the reason is because I have a GOJO shirt. I just don't know what happened to it. I can't find it. And I didn't want to spend like hours trying to find the shirt. So I have this hoodie that I got at the fair a couple years ago that has Kakashi and GOJO on it. So I was like, you know what? He's on it. It counts. I have blue eyeshadow for his eyes. I have that. Okay. And then I have sunglasses, but I don't have like one's kind of like his. I was thinking about doing that, but I forgot. And I have this headband. I don't think you guys want me to like cover my eyes. I mean, I guess I could, but like, do you really want to see this for however long this video is? So we're putting it here instead. I might be giving more Kakashi than GOJO right now, but oh well. They're kind of similar, right? Right? Anyway, so that's why I look a little different. I was hoping to be a little bit more of a GOJO aesthetic, but you know what? We're just gonna do it. It's fine. It's fine. Who's really gonna care, right? So, if you guessed on the first video I had done for this, which is Zoro, if at the end I gave a hint of who the next character will be. So, if you got it right, let me know if you got it right. And then stay tuned at the end of the video to get a hint of the next character that I am going to do after this one. So stay tuned for that. And remember to comment and let me know what you guys think, the topics I talk about with GOJO, if there's anything I missed. Because again, I could have. Has been a little bit since I've watched JJK, so I might have missed some stuff. Let me know, so if I do a part 2 when the show is over, I can. And what you guys' opinions are of some of the topics I have, what you guys think. So, yeah. Let me know. Because I would like to know. And let me know if you guys like me doing this, if you like me doing this type of platform, just kind of sitting here chilling. Again, imagine us, you're hanging out with me in a coffee shop right now. We're talking about GOJO. You know, just keep it like that. I eventually want to buy a customized coffee cup and use for this. Right now I don't have one. Maybe I'll do that eventually. Because I think that would be kind of cool. So, yeah, maybe we can get some merch ideas going on here too, if people like this enough. And again, like I said in the first one, I just need a little bit of a break from reacting. It can be a lot. It can be stressful. And I mentally needed a break. So this is why I'm doing something a little bit different and to test the waters to see what you guys think. If you guys like this platform. I personally am hoping you all like this platform more. Because I'm kind of having fun recording it. So hopefully more people will enjoy this and this can be more fun than just watching me react to something. And we can actually just sit here and chill. It can be like two friends chilling. You guys are my friends. You're my peeps. You're my homies.
What?
I'd say editor me cut that, but we know I'm not gonna do that. So, yeah, my Patreon is gonna have obviously like the same, I might come up with some other things that I could add on there. Chilling. I'm just kind of vibing right now. So, let me know. But you can also go follow some of my other social media platforms. I have TikTok, Instagram, I said Patreon, I have an Etsy. And I forgot to mention in the first one, I do have a membership on YouTube, which is mostly just emojis and badges. I've made the emojis and badges. I designed them, kind of actually drew them and stuff like that. Did not have anybody else do it. Did not have AI do it. I did it on Procreate myself. So yeah, maybe we could do a fun little comment section too of these emojis if people start, you know, becoming memberships. You could, you know, send me some emoji or something, or that could be how you guess, you know, the next characters. If I have the emoji of the character created by then, you could use that emoji of the character. That could be cool. That could be cool. But yeah, we are going to get started with the topics of today, which is Satoru Gojo from JJK. The first thing I really just want to talk about, just to get out of the way, right? Just to get it out of the way real quick, is how annoyingly hot Gojo is. It's everything. It's the hair. It's the eyes. It's everything about him. His personality. His voice. His voice does not help me because it's also Dazai's voice actor. And that is such a problem for me. They are basically the same person, different font. Different color palette, right? Like, they're basically the same man. And it's so annoying. You know, it's the eyes. When his eyes are shown for the first time, my God. I was like, why? He was already hot with just the blindfold on. You know what I mean? It's weird to me how you can find a character attractive when you only see parts of their face. Like, you see, like, here down and then, like, his hair. And he's hot. And so you really don't see the fullness of his eyes. And then you see the rest and you're like, why are you hotter? You know what I mean? And same with Kakashi too. Kakashi has, you know, the one. And it's like this. You know? Ew. It's not comfortable. How does he do that? Anyway. That was not comfortable. But, like, you only see that part and then he has the mask on. And then when it's his face reveal and it's like, dude, really? Like, we don't have to make them hot. I feel like the creators, when they're writing a manga or they're writing, like, just anything, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna make the hottest man imaginable. They do it on purpose, right? I think they do it on purpose. I don't know about you, but I think they do it on purpose. Like, this, drives me crazy. But I get it, right? His eyes are that way because of, I think, the Gojo clan, right? It's the infinity. Like, so, I get his eyes are blue the way that they are. He also has white eyelashes and stuff like that, and I'm like, bro. Like, why do we gotta do this? And I mean, I get it, you know, and again, he has to cover them and everything, otherwise, because I think they have to cover them, or he has to cover them in order to, like, kind of like how Kakashi has to cover his, because he's not a full Uchiha, so he can't just act, like, turn off the Sharingan. So he has to cover it to kind of keep his energy. I think it's kind of the same for Gojo. He has to cover his eyes in order to keep his energy, otherwise he can get burned out by doing it too much. I believe, if I remember right, or I understood it. I normally understand, like, the power system and, like, how powers work in animes for the most part, but JJK has always been kind of confusing for me. I probably need to go watch, like, NC Hammer's videos, probably, to really, like, understand. Maybe that would help me. But just watching it, I'm like, you don't make sense. So, I mean, maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to go watch one of NC Hammer's videos and go do that. That's what I need to do. We're just gonna get him being hot out of the way real quick, because the man is annoyingly hot. It's very annoying. It's also distracting, too, I'm not gonna lie. Especially in Season 2, in Shibuya. I was struggling keeping up with what was happening, because he was just distracting me the entire time. I was like, this is a problem. I don't know what's happening, because I keep getting distracted. Because of just how hot he was during all of that. It was annoying. So again, like I said in my other video about Zoro, I did ask some of my friends who have seen JJK what they wanted me to discuss when it came to GOJO. Like, again, if you were watching a video where you were talking to somebody about GOJO, what would be topics you all would want to hear? And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was how he is described as like a weapon to the JJK like society. Not JJK society, that's just the initial of the show. Like the Jujutsu sorcery world, and he's like that ultimate weapon kind of because of how strong he is and the clan that he's in. And I would like to know a little bit more into his backstory as well. I said that about Zoro too. I would love to know like more of his childhood. Like we've gotten like little glimpses, I think, but I would love to see a little bit more into what was he put through during childhood, being that strong, being in that clan, probably already knowing the type of weapon you were gonna be. Kind of, to me, it seems like he's always known that. So I would be really curious to kind of see like what he dealt with as a weapon of, you know, the Jujutsu Sorcery Society. Like what that would have been like for him. And, you know, just to kind of see that, like how that affected him into becoming an adult that he is now. Like, because I'm sure that probably put some effect, like, kind of a thing. And I've noticed a little bit of a pattern with shows recently where I feel like there are a lot of shows where there's a character that is described as a weapon of that world. And GOJO was one of them for this. Choi and Solo Leveling is known as the ultimate weapon of hunters. Like, and I know there's others. Those are just the only two that I always immediately think of, and I know there's more. But it seems like kind of a thing we're doing recently where it's like there's that one character that's like, they are the weapon for this world that you're in. Like they were designated for that or something. And I would like to, you know, kind of just know like what GOJO had to go through at that age, what, you know, what his childhood was like and how it affected him. I think that's maybe where a lot of the humor comes from. To me, I feel like the goofiness and the kid aspect is maybe because he couldn't fully be a child when he was. And so as an adult, it kind of, you know, having a little bit more of that free reign and stuff like that, he could be silly, he can be goofy, he can, you know, but also have that confidence. He's got very strong confidence too. And he's definitely got an ego. I'm also watching Blue Lock, so to me, I'm like, ego. Show your ego, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like, I think where that comes from, but I kind of think that like childlike behavior and mannerism and stuff into his adulthood, probably because he didn't fully, maybe he couldn't fully be a child when he was. And so it's like adapted into the show. Now, they could have already talked about this, and I don't read the manga necessarily because I don't fully have a way to do so. I've tried, but I get worried about some websites, so I kind of just wait. Or people tell me. Like, I'm caught up with the BSD manga, but it's only because one of my friends tell me what's going on, or she'll send me like screenshots that I can I can use and read. So I know what's going on, but she has an easier way of finding stuff and sharing it with me. So she kind of helps me, or I go and find stuff like on TikTok or Pinterest or something, and I find stuff. But I kind of learn that way, but there are sometimes where I just want to wait. But with Stray Dogs, I couldn't wait because I just really wanted to know more, especially with it being caught up to the anime or the manga. I didn't know how long the anime was going to take, so I was like, I can't wait that long because who knows how long it's going to be. So, you know, I wanted to do that really badly. But some of this stuff could have already been like discussed and I just didn't know it, so my bad. But I would still like to know more on GOJO's story as a younger kid, because I do feel like a lot of his behavior is from that type of a thing. I also feel like a lot of it could also stem from the loss he dealt with in the beginning of season 2 with the girl and even Ghetto as well, kind of losing his friend, getting into darkness because of what happened. And I know he kills him. I think GOJO ends up killing him. And to also have that too, you had to kill him. Like, you had to make that stance and you had to be the one to do it. And then to also learn, oh, no, somebody actually took his body and is now taking him over. And so that's not really him. That also had to have been so like a punch to the face for GOJO of realizing somebody took his body and is now possessing him. Like, that had to have been such a blow to know that. That had to have been so difficult to realize, especially in the circumstances in Shibuya too, to know that. I was like, that is insane. Like, I can't imagine what was probably going through GOJO's head in that moment. But I think a lot of that, too, really hit GOJO as well. It did make him stronger during all of that because of Toji. And I also love the fact that Toji is Chuya. And GOJO Stray Dogs. I love the interaction that they have when Toji stabs him. He's like, have we met before? And he's like, probably. Like, let's go. Yes, you have. I was so excited with that part when I realized he was Chuya. I love Chuya. Okay, I know my name is Shelby.Osamu on here, but I love Chuya. But what? Anyway, see, I get rambling. That's why I need to have like a topic. I have like a topic list, but I also know that I'm probably just gonna go off or I'm gonna realize stuff in the moment. So this is just like a topic point, but this is not really scripted. I just have like, you know, what his family was like, talk about his family, talk about this, but I don't have like a script really. This is topics to talk about, and then I'm just gonna start going. So I do be yapping, to be honest. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. People maybe enjoy me just sitting here yapping. Probably. Hopefully. Because I feel like it's more of an interaction. I feel like you all can have this actual like conversation, and maybe it feels like I'm actually like talking to you, you know? Because that can never really always happen. You know what I mean? That doesn't always happen. So I like kind of sitting here talking to you guys, kind of having that creativeness of, you know, feeling like I'm talking to you all. Anyway, here we go with me yapping. Feel like the moment of him being sealed is... Okay, so I watched up until him being sealed, and then I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of bored. Not bored necessarily, but GOJO is like one of the main characters in the show that I am like fully like drawn to. I like some of the other characters. I do like Megami. I like Nobara. There are characters that I do like in it, but GOJO is the one that like I was set with. And so when he left, I was kind of like, well, like I kind of ended up falling off and kind of stopped watching for a little bit. And then my husband was like, did we finish JJK? And I was like, I don't think we did. I was like, I remember GOJO getting sealed and then kind of just quit watching. So we went back and finished it and got caught back up. So we're now caught up to the show at least. And, but I literally just kind of fell off a little bit. And not really on purpose. I like GOJO, okay? Don't judge me. But I was happy we finished it because it did end decently well. So I was happy that we finished it, but it was like we got into watching other stuff and got distracted. I think we also had to get caught up with Demon Slayer because we knew the movie was coming soon. So I was like, we need to get caught up with Demon Slayer before the movie comes out. So we did that, and then we did something else, and then it was like, did we finish JJK? No, we did not. So that kind of distracted me from all of that. Another thing is that I would like to see GOJO with Megami, Itadori, and Nobara more. We really didn't get to see him as like a sensei too much. Like, I would have liked to see more interactions of them all together. He has moments of training, like we see him kind of like talking and training Megami. He does kind of train Itadori. It was more just to watch movies. More or less. But like we never really got to see him like do a full actual training with his team and actually like interact with them too much. And I think maybe the reason is because he was GOJO. You know, he was being sent off to go do other stuff because of who he was. So they really kind of just most of the time had to fend for themselves or have somebody else with them. And it's like, I kind of wish they could have been like, all right, Gojo, you need to stay with these people because they need you. If we need you, we will call you. But you go help them. You know, we never really got to see that. And I think it's just because of who Gojo is probably why. Because I do feel like every time something happened, he was doing something else because he was called to. So he was never there. And I kind of wish we got to see that more because I liked the dynamic of those four together. And so kind of, I would have loved to see him more in that like sensei kind of capacity a little bit. Some of the cool moments I have wrote down. Again, I'm probably going to miss stuff. You can put in the comments if, you know, there's something else you want to talk about that I might have missed or something. But his first fight with Sukuna, very beginning, was so funny. I loved him just taking on Sukuna as, like, Itadori. Was so funny. It really gave you a sense of who Gojo is. Like, we get to kind of, you know, they do the beginning of Gojo talking to Itadori, and then it kind of shows what all happened. That moment just described Gojo immediately. Like, you knew who this character was the moment you met him. Like, him showing up and being all goofy and being like, the first years are gonna love this. And, like, taking pictures of Megami and stuff like that. And then kind of getting to that seriousness of being like, alright, show me what you got. I want to fight Sukuna. And does it so casual the way he fights him, too. It perfectly describes Gojo. And immediately you're like, you know who this is. You're like, this guy is insane. This guy's strong. This guy is confident, but also goofy. And that's Gojo. And you really got a sense of him very quickly. And I did like that, but I also just loved him fighting Sukuna. I thought it was really hilarious. And just being so confident. And, you know, like he says, too, when they first show up to the school. And Itadori's like, so if you fought Sukuna, who would win? And he's like, well, if he goes at his full strength, you know, he might be difficult. He's like, but would you lose? And he's like, no, I'd win. It's like, what? That part is insane. And I know the translation of, is it the manga? The translation from the Japanese to English for the manga, he says something else, I think. And I know there's a lot of controversy because it wasn't as good as it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be what he says in the anime, but the translation got messed with. And I'm like, that is just insane. Like, him just being like, no, I'd win. It's also, again, it just describes Gojo so perfectly of just being so confident and being like, yeah, I'd kick his ass. I'd kick his ass. Like, come on. That would have been fun if he said that. No, I'd kick his ass. Now that would have been funny. I think just any moment in Shibuya. You can talk about any moment in Shibuya and I'm in. Like, him showing up there fighting all of the cursed spirits, like, you know, grabbing the one's horns and being like, so this is where you're weak. Like, just, God, Jesus. God, Jesus. What? Like, that just him fighting in general, I think is just really fun to watch. And especially there, because it was just insane. And the breathing. Him just standing there out of breath after doing all that. It reminds me of Carmen Elaine. I think I watched a Twitch stream that she did. She was playing a game, I think, and had drank a little bit. And she's like, Alexa, play 1 hour loop of Gojo breathing. That's what I always think of now. I do the 1 hour loop of Gojo breathing. I said that to somebody the other day. You can talk about anything in Shibuya, and I'm just, when it comes to Gojo, and we can talk about that, because I just think the fights are incredible, the animation's incredible. We don't need to get into that with Mabo. We don't need to talk about that. But the animation is incredible during all of those fights. Gojo in general, just taking them all down. Like, it was just easy. And was just so incredible and fun to watch. and just exciting to experience because it was like he could have taken them all on his own if it wasn't for being sealed. And I get why he was sealed, because if you have GOJO, the bad guys lose. If GOJO is there, then what's the point in attempting further? But then if you take GOJO out of the scenario, then you have a chance to do so. So it makes sense, right? Like, I get it. But it's GOJO. You know what I mean? Like, but you've left GOJO as much as I do, and you want to just continue to see him, so then when he's gone, you're like, man, like, damn it. I want GOJO. Also when the school gets attacked, as well, when they're doing the, what's that thing called? I forgot, was it like a festival thing or something? When it was like after he had died and come back, and they were like, surprise! Whatever that was. I loved that as well. I think he was really fun during that part too. Kind of showing off a little bit, I think. I think it was showing off to the students, and probably his students as well, kind of showing more what he's capable of. And it's just, that is just really fun too. Again, it's GOJO. We also can't talk about all of this stuff and not talk about the beach scene in the beginning of season 2 and the backstory thing. That was rough, buddy. And also, no, he was using his technique, like, the entire time. I was like, how can you be doing that and not look like you're just dying because of sleep deprived, but instead he still looked hot? Explain that to me. If I did that, I would have looked terrible. But yet, somehow, like, you think they could have at least had a little bit of a, like, you know, but yeah, he still looked hot. Still looked hot as shit. And I'm like, alright. Alright. Really? We gotta do that? But the beach scene is just, you know, incredible. Not just because shirtless too, but just because it was funny. You know, kind of seeing the, like, goofiness and having fun with, despite what's going on around them, still kind of trying to make her happy too, you know, is also another thing. And what happened to the GOJO clan? I don't exactly remember, because he's the only one we ever talk about, or gets mentioned, but I assume there was more. I just don't remember. Was it the, Zenin clan did something? Was it that? I don't remember. I remember something being talked about. I need to watch JJK again, because I think I've only watched it once. And I'm probably just forgetting what was being discussed. Discussed? Jesus. Words are hard, okay? But that's kind of all the topics I have for GOJO. I was struggling to come up with some stuff just because it's only like 2 seasons, and it was a little difficult to like think of a bunch of stuff, but I did what I could. But if I missed anything, let me know in the comments if there's something you want me to discuss, and maybe when the next season comes out or something like that, I could do like a part 2 type of a thing and mention the things you all say that I missed. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you all maybe want to see. Like, I want to know more of. Like, do you want to know more of GOJO's childhood? Do you want to know more of, you know, something like that? Like, what, or maybe, like, more about his technique. I want to talk about his power more, kind of like I did for Zoro, but I don't fully understand it enough. Again, I normally know, like, the power systems and how things work normally, but JJK has been a confusing one for me that I have never been able to understand. So, I am sorry if I can't really give you more, because I just truly don't fully understand how it works. I might have to watch NC Hammer's video, because I'm sure he's done a video on it. I'm sure he has. So maybe it can kind of help me understand how the system works and stuff. But, yeah. Stuff too, like what you're anticipating from the next season, what you think is gonna happen if you haven't read the manga. If you have read the manga, I would prefer no spoilers in the comments, but, you know, I know a little bit just because of accidental spoilers and stuff, but for people who maybe haven't seen anything or maybe trying to avoid it, just kind of think about that before commenting. And yeah. And now I'm trying to think about who to hint for the next... I know who the next character is going to be that I'm going to record, but I'm just trying to think about a line I could use to kind of give you a hint of this character. I don't know. I'm curious to see how many people will get it, just because it's not as popular as like One Piece, JJK, stuff like that. So, but I do think people might know it if you've seen it. And I will say, I have talked about this anime in previous videos. If you watched one of my previous 2 Windbreaker and Blue Lock from this previous weekend on the 20th and the 21st, you will know the character because I reference the character because I look like I do his hairstyle, kind of. And I reference the character, if that helps. I can give you that little bit of a hint because I don't really know how many people are actually going to know, to be quite honest with you. So, the hint. God, I got beyond a lot. For the hint of the next character, we're going to do a quote that he says, or you can go watch my video that has the reference of the character, if that will help. And comment who you think it is, and I will tell you if you're right when the next one comes. So your hint is, because it's a side without snakes. I love that. If you know, you know. If you know, it's a very funny line, and I quite enjoy it for some reason. So, in the comments, let me know if you get it right, or who you think it is, and let me know if you're correct in the next one. And like always, I am happy you were here, but leave it.
Anyway, bye-bye.